Right, I'm going to start by apologising if you can't quite hear me that well. It does appear to be raining, and that combined with the mechanism of my practically clockwork camera is going to drown me out a bit. Oh, how the elements conspire to stop my voice getting to you. Okay, so it appears to be movie week, and considering that I'm an aspiring film critic and actually studying film at the moment, I should have a few well-informed things to say about it. But I'm just going to do the whole favourite films thing. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Right, I just counted my DVD collection and I have just over 100, so it's not going to work if I go through each and every one. What I'm going to do is break it down into genres and analyse a few titles from each. Right, I'm going to start off basic and go with horror. Now here I have Alien and Aliens. Now a lot of people prefer James Cameron's Aliens, which I found to be more of an action movie, so I do prefer Ridley Scott's first film. It blends horror and sci-fi perfectly, and Ripley is probably the best female horror character ever. She's definitely a big step up from the big-breasted, dumb blonde who gets killed but not before getting naked. Okay, on to comedy, and I think Big Nothing is really underrated, and I'm quite surprised at that because it's got Simon Pegg and David Schwimmer in it. It's really dark and really cringy to the point at which it's actually quite hard to watch. It's like if Ross from Friends somehow dabbled in fraud and murder, so what's not to like? I think I need to give For a Few Dollars More a mention. It's usually people's least favourite of the Dollars trilogy, but I love it. It really taught me what the medium of film was capable of, i.e. standing poised to fire your gun for a ridiculous amount of time while really cool music plays. But anyway, I love it. Clint Eastwood's a badass, Lee Van Cleef's a big badass, and he's dead. Right, I'll give anime a mention. I've got Cowboy Bebop the movie, Paprika, which Nomi has already mentioned, and Blood the Last Vampire. I just recently watched this and it's great. It's got brilliant animation, but it's freaking short. Anyway, I don't want to exhaust my knowledge of anime because I'm one of those people who likes to make out that he knows a lot more about Japan than he really does. Okay, this might sound weird, but I believe 500 Days of Summer to be the best romantic comedy I've ever seen. Simply because it taught me that when it comes to love stories, I'm a little bitch. I'm one of those people who tends to look down their nose at other rom-coms and say, yeah, look at them, happy ending, oh, so cliché. And this gave me an honest, truthful portrayal of relationships that I didn't really want to accept. I was begging for them to get back together, and I really didn't want Joseph Gordon-Levitt to move on. But the movie said, no, this is a realistic movie. If you don't like it, then piss off and watch Bridget Jones. This is probably the only film that I love, but still makes me really depressed. Right, I think we should give psychological thriller a mention, because that is a genre in of itself, and a great genre at that, so I've picked Memento. This is one of my favourite Christopher Nolan films, and even though it doesn't have the same kind of style as Inception or his Batman films, it's just so clever. If I had to sit down and write a narrative that went backwards and forwards and met in the middle, I think I'd just wet myself and cower under the duvet for a week. So yeah, its premise is genius and it's so unique, and I have an utmost respect for anything that's unique in Hollywood. Last but certainly not least, I'm going to talk about sci-fi, and I've picked out the big daddy of them all, and it's not Star Wars. It's 2001: A Space Odyssey. Now if you haven't seen this, you might want to check it out and enjoy 2.5 hours of your mind getting raped. It's a pretty psychedelic movie that reduces all audiences to the level of a shocked stoner. But this influenced so many films after it. No 2001, no Star Wars. And for the late 60s, the effects are incredible. But yeah, as a lot of people say, it does move very slowly. There's a 10-minute sequence of just colours coming at the screen. And every spaceship in the film moves at about that speed. I'm not kidding. But incredible, deep, pretentious, whatever you want to call it, I like it. So that was my list of genres and films I own within them. I hope some viewers have been inspired to watch some of them. That's assuming my opinion on film counts for anything. Please say it does. But that's all I have for now, and I'll be back soon. Didn't mean to sound so stalkerish there.